So the problem was in the splitter. I tried a bunch of shit, swapped a bunch of shit out. Ultimately, I narrowed it down. I wasn't getting a good connection on the splitter. It's a little Y-shaped doohickey. You plug it into an audio jack so you can plug 2 sets of headphones or whatever into the same slot. So problems identified. It's the splitter's fault, but that doesn't mean the problem's solved, right? I mean, we're talking about like a $5 item you can pick up at any music shop or electronics store, but it's 6 o'clock, it's Saturday, and I'm doing David Smalley's 24-hour fundraiser thing in a few hours. I can't do that with my headphones cutting in and out the whole time, and the only place that I know of in this town where you can buy an 1/8-inch audio splitter at 6 o'clock on a Saturday is in the fucking mall. Now, I've been avoiding this shit for weeks. I did all my holiday shopping online. I stockpiled on all my non-perishables. I even tried to predict what odd shit at my house was most likely to break between now and January so I could pick up a spare. The last thing I wanted to do was go to the fucking mall at the height of Christmas season. But here I am, not only going to the mall, but going on a Saturday at 6 o'clock in the evening. And look, this is not an atheist thing. It's not that Santa hats burn my eyes or that tinsel is my kryptonite. It's just that I'm sane, so I don't like standing in dense crowds listening to shitty music and waiting in line for 18 minutes to buy a goddamn $5 splitter. And here I am getting all 3 in concert. So I pull up to the mall. I walk past the Salvation Army bullshit, past the carolers singing about baby Jesus. I go under the mistletoe, around the LED snowflakes, past Santa Claus, left at the giant wreath, right at the candy canes, towards the big-ass Christmas tree. I go past another Santa and another Santa, push my way through a rush hour subways where the shopper so I can pick up this tiny little testament to why 3D printers are going to be so fucking awesome. And then I head to the tinsel-wrapped counter where a girl in a Santa hat awaits me, eventually, because it's a really long fucking line. So as I'm standing here absently listening to the speakers croon about a manger-based maternity ward from back in the day, I can't help but wonder what the fuck winning must look like to these people. Seriously, this holiday is still more than 2 weeks away, and I can't go 10 fucking inches without being reminded that it's Christmas time. And yes, when I finally get to the counter, the girl there says Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, but she's wearing a fucking Santa hat. It's obvious she's not wishing me a happy Hanukkah, and yet I'm constantly hearing about this fucking war on Christmas that's being waged against them. You guys have a whole month. 1/12 of the year is dedicated to your holiday, and that's not enough for you? Oh, I'm sorry. Was the door greeter at Walmart considerate of the fact that he can't tell if you're a Christian or a Jew just by looking at you? That bastard. Did the asshole in that advertising department choose a Christian saint over the Christian Messiah to promote the month-long sale they dedicated to your Savior's birthday? Those assholes. And look, most of the atheists I know couldn't give a lump of buttcoal about any of this. Most of us celebrate Christmas. At least those of us in predominantly Christian cultures, and it doesn't bother us a lick that virtually every interaction that we're going to have with a human being over the next 2 weeks is going to open and close with Merry Christmas. But I am cognizant of how that shit has to play if you're like a Hindu. Right? I mean, the dude that works at the store down from my house, Hindu guy, standing behind the counter all day getting told Merry Christmas 800 fucking times, seeing symbolism of this Christian holiday everywhere he goes, seeing how the schools and stores close for this holiday but not his holiday, being subtly and not so subtly reminded that he's a cultural outsider everywhere he goes for a month plus. And that's what the whole happy holidays thing is about. I mean, that's not something that rose out of atheism. It rose out of consideration for minority religions. And it's the most bullshit compromise because there are no other religions having big major holidays right now. Hanukkah? Fuck off. That's only a big holiday because it's near Christmas and Jewish parents were near Christians and they wanted their kids to have something too. So happy holidays is the most infinitesimal little scooch in the direction of inclusivity, and yet that is an unforgivable encroachment to these people. Now, of course, that's not the story that they would tell you, right? I mean, if you ask the people promoting this war on Christmas nonsense, they're going to tell you it's because the secularists hate their joy as much as the Muslims hate their freedom. Because I guess if you say, I just don't like being considerate to Jews, you sound like an asshole even to yourself. But make no mistake, that's what it is. This is symbolic of another cultural front they're losing ground on. Of course, their religion should get privileges that Jews and Muslims and Hindus don't get, because their religion is right. Right? Any indication that our culture gives that all the religions should be equally respected challenges that notion. It tells their children, hey, you know that thing that other guy believes that he's absolutely sure is true, even though you and I know that it's obvious bullshit? Turns out that's exactly like the thing that your parents are absolutely sure is true. They don't like that message a fucking lick. So when we look at their hand-wringing and hyperventilating, we tend to see a fiction. We see grown adults buying sky-falling insurance. We'll say, give me a fucking break. There's no war on Christmas. Have you been to the goddamn mall? But there is a war on Christian overreach, and that's what they're talking about. The Happy Holidays thing is a symbolic front, as are all the nativity scenes on courthouse lawns. It's a sign of what they're rightfully losing. I mean, look, in 1965, you could have a Christmas cartoon where the voice of reason characters take center stage to paraphrase the Gospel of John. There's no fucking way a popular comic property would do that today. I mean, Ninja Turtles Christmas will absolutely not include Donatello delivering a sermon. So yes, there is a war on Christmas, and yes, you guys are losing it. Because by your definition, winning means cramming Jesus into every crack and crevice, exerting extra constitutional exemptions, and tricking my 8-year-old ass into listening to Linus verbally teabag Jesus for 3 minutes. And if that's what you're willing to take to the battlefield to defend, I'm willing to meet you on the other side. So pausing briefly for a shot of eggnog and a moment of solemn remembrance for all the elves we've lost over the years, we cry happy holidays and let slip the reindeers of war.